Hello and good evening and welcome to Simon Security Expert, where we are going to be talking about the breaking news story that is a burglar who's carried out a £10 million jewellery heist in London. The BBC have just broken this news, probably on other news outlets too. So there's a quick video of him here where you can see him collecting the money. Let's just press play on this before we start going through the rest of it. So we'll reject cookies because I'm paranoid about them. Here he is, and he's just loading up a bag full of jewellery. We'll just watch that again. You can see him here packing everything together. It's strange that he knew where to go, where to look. You could argue that maybe he had previous experience of the property. But let's go through this. Let's see what's going on and see the incredible things that they didn't put in place, considering they had this level of wealth that's inside the house. And I'm not sure that the insurance would necessarily pay out on this now. But let's have a look. So, new CCTV footage exclusively obtained by BBC News reveals how a burglar stole more than £10 million worth of jewellery and designer handbags from a London mansion. So, the images show a masked man stuffing handfuls of jewellery into a backpack after creeping into the multi-million pounds property. Unbelievable. A family spokesperson who was inside the home when the theft was carried out said the intruder moved like a cat. So someone was in the house, but appears to have almost been thwarted when his apparent escape route was blocked. The stolen goods belong to Hong Kong socialite Shafira Huang, who was not at the St John's Wood house at the time. A reward of up to £1.5 million has been offered as the hunt for the thief continues. Wow, so there was actually someone who was in the property at the time. That'd be an unbelievably scary thing to encounter. Let's have a look at more. So, Sisasa, I'm struggling with that name. Sisaba Virag, a spokesperson for Miss Huang's family, said the thief had initially attempted to enter via a second floor window at around 5 p.m. on 7th of December. Marks that looked like they were made with a screwdriver or a crowbar were left behind. When that did not work, the intruder then climbed onto the roof, where he would have seen two housekeepers leaving the grounds before lowering himself into a large concrete gutter, yeah, I've read that right, to enter the house via a bathroom window, which was also on the second story. So here is a picture of the man, of the perpetrator, and now I'd love to get your opinion on this, because there's just no way in a million years you could show me that CCTV image and I could have any clue who the hell that is. It looks like that CCTV image has been taken from the 1950s. Maybe your eyes are better than mine. I'd love to know. Can you work out who that is? Or even have any idea if they were lined up? Because I certainly can't. They're the image. That's one of the images that's been released by the family. The bathroom belonged to a live-in governess, Mr. Virag, who he was holding a meeting with in a basement room of the 5-story property when the theft occurred. She would have been in that room, and there would have been a confrontation had she would have been in that room, which is quite scary. Mr. Virag said the intruder would have had to climb down onto the sink from the window, but moved like a cat to avoid making any marks on it or disturbing the cosmetic products it was littered with. Around £300 in cash on a desk in the room was left untouched. Well, I'm not surprised, because, 10 million, 300 quid in cash. You're probably going to focus on the jewellery, really, aren't you, if we're going to be honest? The family spokesman said he heard a banging during that meeting, but put it down to the strong winds outside. The weather's been terrible here. The weather's always terrible here. So, okay, you wouldn't really think too much of it, so I understand that. Retrospectively, I can put two and two together, which at the time you don't really think. I agree. Mr. Virag said he believes the noise could have been a staff entrance door banging in the draft created when the intruder opened the window, and that the thief closed the window quickly to avoid being given away. The intruder was then captured on CCTV cameras moving around the house above them, struggling to open cases containing expensive jewellery before putting items into his bag. Timestamps on one of the CCTV images released by the family indicate he narrowly avoided bumping into the maid when they walked through the same hallway seconds apart. So, wow, side-by-side images show the thief and the maid walk through the same hallway less than a minute apart. So this must be the same hallway up here in this image, yeah, and there's just literally 1 minute. And he's avoided detection, which, to be honest, I'm very happy with, because people who do this kind of work, they can be seriously on edge and seriously dangerous. The repercussions for them being caught can be severe. So the lengths that they can go to under the essentially pressure that they're under can be horrific. So thank God he wasn't detected. It's much better that he got away with all that jewellery and goods than someone potentially get hurt. Side-by-side CCTV images show the thief, yeah, so, and then it shows this image trying to, depict just so you can get on his height, 5'8", walking through the door. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Asked if the thief left the house the same way he came in, Mr. Varag said he did, but added, "I believe it was not his intention." The thief had entered a high-risk part of the house and appears to have tried to leave via a rarely used guest room at the back of the property. It seems like he would have caged the joint. He seemed to know the layout of the house to some extent. Whether he was working alone, who knows? These are seriously valuable premises. Maybe someone was working with him who worked inside the property. I'd be interested to hear your opinion on that. It wouldn't be the first time I've seen anything like that happening, whether it's a maid, whether it's a workman who've been in there doing jobs. So he seemed to know where to go to get this valuable, this valuable jewellery. He continued, he tried to open the window from the inside, but we have the safety on the sash window. The stoppers only allow you to pull it out 8 centimetres. If you don't have the right tool to unscrew the pins, you can't. He tried, but he couldn't succeed. As well as the jewellery, Hermes Crocodile Kelly handbags and £15,000 in cash were also taken. Why is £15,000 in cash being left lying around, or not secured in some kind of vault or safe that is alarmed? You don't have to alarm. If you've got someone in the house and you've got alarm, you could have perimeter protection. This is what I find insane on these stories a lot of the time when these kind of things happen. It just seems like security was an afterthought. It's all well and good having CCTV, but it only shows you what happens after the fact. You've been robbed, they've taken everything, they've got 10 million, or sentimental value of things as well. Got to have an alarm. You've got to provide audible detection. You could have perimeter protection, which has got shock sensors on the windows and can pick up someone trying to jimmy the window, someone trying to gain access. It protects the goods. It protects the people inside. It makes people run away. Here we go. So this is Miss Huang. Is a Hong Kong socialite who lives in London. So as I said, she wasn't actually in at the time. Incredibly rich woman though, by the sounds of it. Unbelievable. The thief, who police may have been armed, is believed to be a white man in his late 20s to 30s. So that's even more dangerous. You've got someone who can potentially be armed with a deadly weapon. What that could mean if someone bumped into that person could be absolutely horrific. We urge anyone who's in the area of Avenue Road, NW8, and saw anything suspicious on video to please come forward. The Metropolitan Police Department, Detective Con Paulo Roberts said, also, if you have seen this jewellery since someone has offered to sell you it, or you could have any further information, please contact the police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. So these are now hot products, as they'd be called, hot items. They are going to be very difficult for someone to shift. They monitor eBay and things like that, for someone trying to sell these kind of things online. I don't know how many people will be buying things worth potentially hundreds of thousands of pounds each on eBay anyway. So there'll have to be a specific buyer. I'd imagine this will be lined up beforehand, maybe going abroad where other documents can be made and things can be melted and things like that. But it would be very hard to shift these items. So when they say £10 million worth of goods are stolen, while that is true on the face of it, the actual value that the perpetrators would be able to sell them for will be significantly less because of the risk involved being found with these items. So, a £500 reward has been offered for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the suspect. Well, okay, if you saved someone 10 million, £500 might not be great, but you know, you'd probably help them anyway if you did have information, just because it'd be the right thing to do. Or would you? I would. A second reward of 10% of the value of any recovered items has been offered by the homeowners for information that leads to the retrieval of the stolen jewellery, which could total as much as 1.5 million. The Metropolitan Police confirm that's more like it. The burglary was carried out on Avenue Road, which links the Swiss Cottage and Regent's Park areas of the capital and is home to some of the city's most expensive properties. Miss Huang, who lives in the mansion with her property developer husband... Why is it Miss then? MS? Shouldn't be Mrs.? Okay, anyway. Had been a prolific social media user, but has since made her profiles private. Now this, guys, is key here. Very often, criminals will monitor your social media. If they know you're someone of high value, if they know you've got money and valuables in the house, they'll monitor your social media and they'll see when you are out. And you're doing half the work for them. They know when you're not in. And then coupled that with no active intruder alarm that's actually armed, you've given them a free run at the valuables. People love to show off nowadays. And, you know, if they've got nice things and they want to show it off, you should be able to. But unfortunately, that's not the case, especially in London. Is London as bad as it seems to be at the moment? It seems like it's horrific. And then these very wealthy people who live there, are they going to want to continue living there? Do you live in London? Is it as bad as it seems to be making out on the news anymore? At the moment, sorry. It seems like you can't walk around even with your phone out, or it's gone. Anyway, so she's made their profiles private now, I'm not surprised. The Met has released some images of the items stolen, including a diamond-encrusted bracelet. It means nothing to me. If someone told me that was £10, I wouldn't know if it was, to be honest, but it's probably not £10. Times that by maybe 10,000 and then you're probably getting somewhere near the actual value of that. A £150,000 Hermes Crocodile handbags like this one was also taken. The total value of what was stolen, over 10 million. So, things to recap there. No audible alarm system that was armed at the time of the robbery. The CCTV images don't seem great. Can you make anything out from that? Thankfully, no one was hurt, which is great news. But yeah, is London as bad as it seems right now? It seems that people are willing to go into houses armed and steal a lot of money. I suppose, as we've mentioned, the main question I've got is, was this an inside job? You sometimes come across these things. You've got to sometimes be a little bit careful who you let into your house, especially if you're in the region of having that valuable thing, that valuable items of that value inside your property. So yeah, there's a lot to think about. I'm looking forward to see how this develops and actually see if the burglar is caught. I suppose we'll know in time and we'll get more information, but I'll develop and keep you up to date on the story as it develops. I'd be interested to know your opinion on it. So yeah, reply in the comments. Let me know what you think about the things we've went over, and more coming soon.